Real quick before we do this game stuff, Demi Lovato, he asked to cast with me on Monday. On Monday was not a good day because I had so much snow. I was afraid of a power outage. So I was like, look, let's set up, we'll have like a casting date, right? Like you come on Sunday, you play the cup for however long. Then once you get knocked out, you come cast for a bit. We'll have some fun. So we're not trying to, just bad luck is what this is so far. But we'll get on for a couple casts, guys. Don't worry. Anyways, without further ado, this is the second game of the day. And it's the ZOTAC European Cup. Well, it's just the ZOTAC Cup now, I guess, as the North American Cup is no longer continuing. Anyways, without further ado and without more delay, in the top right corner of the map is the purple Protoss player from the clan Our Blood, Nanaki. And his opponent to the south, and the left, is going to be a very independent man sponsored by Rocket, Hyun. A Rocket? It's the two C's that throw me off of that name. And small nod, of course, I'm Rifkin, hi, hello, but also Partoof is the one on the camera today. He's the one streaming for all you wonderful people, and any extra production stuff you see is all him. But I've been doing a pretty good job of cock-blocking him out of production today because I keep talking over map intros, or we keep having this or that happen. Whatever. It's the second game of the day. I'm not too hung up on it. Hyun, though, really glad to see Hyun. Not because it's like, oh boy, it's like Korean, I can't wait for viewers to come to my channel. But like, because Hyun's a player who used to play in the ZOTAC Cup every freaking week. On North America, on Europe, like if you guys like literally, I encourage you right now, go Google like ZOTAC Cup and look at the victories of the past. Like Hyun literally has the most ZOTAC Cup victories, period, like in a large way. But the thing is, like, when Heart of the Swarm came around, I don't know if he just didn't want to play in weekly cups or if he was training. I mean, let's be honest, he kind of dropped off the face of the map for a little bit and then won a frigging DreamHack. So, I mean, I guess it worked for him, but he actually hasn't been very active with ZOTAC since Heart of the Swarm. Like, I think he played the first 3 weeks, and then Pult sort of took dominance, and we never really saw Hyun more than once or twice. So I'm really stoked to see him playing once again. Now, it's the European Cup, of course, hosted over in Europe. He's unfortunately in Korea. This is probably the least happy scenario for him, but it's still a situation where I feel he can play. It kind of sucks too. Like, you're so screwed by your region sometimes. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got like 1 million internet download and fiber optic Google and all these things. When you go to Korea, you're still going to have a bit of lag, and vice versa for people coming from Korea to another server. Not that I think that's something that we need to make up like excuses for Hyun or anything for, but I think it'll definitely influence the way he plays, because you're never going to want to go for these very intricate like Roach Hydra. I need to micro specifically this unit at this time with the Vipers and whatever, if you're really worried about things like that. Now, that being said, Hyun's kind of a monster, and I kind of feel like he's so good at this game, he could probably play through the lag. But I don't know, Zerg's in a funny spot right now versus Protoss. What's nice about Hyun, too, is he's like the one player I've never really seen complain about anything. Like, we've seen some of the best fall to their emotions. Like, unfortunately, after WCS, 4GG's Twitter made me just, like, really sad to read. But Hyun is a player who I've never really seen complain too much about the game, not publicly at least, so I don't know how affected he is by the current I'm going to say this in big air quotes, the Protoss meta that is basically making everybody hate them. But, yeah, we'll see how this matchup goes. I think Protoss versus Zerg is pretty much the one, I guess, standard matchup. Like, you're not going to see a huge variation in builds on this one. It's pretty much most of the time going to be at some point Colossus out of a Protoss player, and if not Mutalisks and Roaches and Hydralisks out of the Zerg. Although Swarm hosts have become a more prevalent thing and are certainly a lot more common on Europe, there's still a lot of players who just simply refuse to use them. And I want to point out too, Hyun's still playing Gasless. He did take that quicker third. I wasn't talking about that, but I hope Partoof was looking at it. And a big part of that, of course, came from scouting the Gateway Expand from his opponents, which is kind of funny because, like, it was once upon a time where Gateway Expand was like, whoa, I'm never taking that third early. Like, I'm kind of scared to, like, end up 4-gating me, but 4-gating has kind of fallen off the face of the map, and cannon rushing has taken its place. So it's interesting to see a lot of people kind of be more scared of that Forge opening now than you do see the Gateway. Now, he's got some lings outside of the map of just kind of roaming about. Of course, Mothership Core from Nanaki is going to keep them away, and with that Sentry, he'll hold against any sort of early aggression. +1 timing's on the way, and this is where it gets a little bit scary. So the Robo facility is coming up. I don't know if this will be paired with Immortals or not, but if you even just do like gateways with +1, you can do some serious damage if your opponent does not have Roaches. And Hyun, someone who's definitely certainly shown favoritism towards Roaches in the past, with that later gas, unfortunately will not have any for quite some time. Hell, I don't believe Metabolic Boost has even been started. No, so, oh, there we go, as I say it, of course. So any sort of +1 timing from Nanaki could be quite deadly, because he's only going to have Zerglings to deal with it, and quite frankly, If you guys don't understand the complexity of it, Zealots, 2-shot Zerglings, that's like the bottom line when they have +1. So you kill them a lot faster, a lot quicker, and you know, with even just 3 gateways, you don't need 4, you don't need 7. With 3 gateways, you can just send 7 Zealots to third base and really just do insurmountable amounts of damage. But setting up here for a little bit more than that, 4 fresh new gateways, sorry, 5 fresh new gateways on the way on top of the 2 that are already here. So that's going to put them up to 7 in total. The Warp Prism's an interesting choice. Nanaki, what are you doing? You're not going to take the other sentry? Okay, so right now what I think Nanaki's going to do is just head towards the main. This is something you typically see, but you see players load up like 4 sentries into the Warp Prism, not 1. So that's what leaves me a little bit confused as to what he's doing. But whether he puts them on the high ground or the low ground, the point is you force field off this ramp, and you keep units from reinforcing whichever base it is you choose to attack. So force fielding off the main ramp. Now only a couple of slow links to fight here in the main. Again, Zealots are really strong against these +1, with +1 against this. Another sentry going to warp in. You need about 4 to get like a lot of solid force fields off on this ramp, but even if the force fields falter, again with +1 weapons, it just does so much damage. For poor Hyun, he's just trying to kite the queen, or kite the Zealots with that queen. She gets one last inject off. Another force field goes down, and this is not a lot of fun for Hyun to deal with. But lucky for him, ooh, actually, I like the spine crawlers coming down. I've never seen anyone react to this by putting a bunch of spine crawlers in the back of their base. Maybe this will pay off. Anyways, I was gonna say though, luckily for Hyun, his layer's at his natural, his Roach Warren is at the natural, his evolution chambers are at the natural. Like, he is actually pretty set to just lose what is an awkward expansion more than anything else. But with Roaches popping out in the main and these 2 spine crawlers behind the mineral line, he should be able to hold this. I don't think the spawning pool is even gonna go down. So in the end, what do we get? 12 workers, not too bad. I don't know if this will necessarily cost effective or not, but yeah, the Roaches are going to really start making this a little bit more viable of a hold. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough queens to really walk up that ramp or on the high ground to snipe off the Warp Prism, so it's going to be quite some time before he can fully clean this up, but Roaches are getting the job done. Now the force fields have pretty much been exhausted. The Lings come in for a bit of a fight here, and again, we see the Mothership Core actually go down. Now we got the Queens trying to get up that ramp to target fire that Warp Prism, which is just an infinite supply of reinforcements, it feels like, but even then, Hyun, well, he's held his base. He's actually like no defenses for the natural. Spine crawlers are repositioning, but I kind of wish they weren't. Drones have been pulled into this. For Hyun, this just become a lot more desperate. Yeah, no Queens doing injects of the natural is going to hurt a lot. Giving up this base is a bit rough, but I kind of wish he would have sacrificed his main. Treated it like a third in the late game, you know, where you're just like, okay, I can't handle this. I'll just take acceptable losses for the time being and fight around the ramp. Because the thing is, the Nanaki can never really push out the bottom of this ramp either. Like, while Hyun can't come up due to the force fields, Nanaki can't push down due to the choke. So Hyun is got some Roaches out. Trying to kite these Zealots off a creep without speed is a little bit of a difficult thing to do. So that's why I see him just kind of moving into this. But as he cleans up the Zealots, it makes it a lot more viable to clean up the Stalkers with these Lings. Now the Roaches coming in hard, and this is a bit of frustrating hold. If he could have just sniped off that Warp Prism, this could have gone so much differently, but Nanaki abandons it, says, alright, it's not worth it in the end. I got the hatchery, mission accomplished, let's get out of here. So, assessing the losses here at the end, guys, Hyun has taken a significant loss as far as resources goes, as we check here in the bottom right, thanks to the Game Heart wonderful overlay. But more importantly than that, he lost his third, which is going to be really rough to deal with. That being said, Nanaki doesn't exactly have a lot of tech back at home. Like, that was a lot dedicated to this. Like, that was really supposed to be a small dedication to knock down that hatchery. But as we saw, Hyun was a little too prepared. He reacted quite well. And with a worker lead still, he's looking at a pretty good spot this game. As long as he doesn't let Nanaki secure third base. And, oh, actually, with the Immortal Sentry follow-up to this. Well, it's actually not that many sentries, though. I don't think this push from Nanaki is smart. It could do some damage, I guess, but I mean, Hyun's got that macro hatchery at the third base. He's knocked down the rocks. I mean, the power of a push like this is to catch your opponent with a lot of force fields, so it just completely choke him off. Ooh, that's really gonna hurt Hyun. Actually, he just lost a ton of Roaches to that. But we got Tunneling Claws on the way. I actually really like this move. This helps you get around the force fields a little bit better. No detection from Nanaki means even if he gets caught in force fields, Hyun can just simply burrow. It's not done yet, of course, but that's gonna be what's going to happen. This base having to be evacuated is a very unfortunate reality that Hyun is faced with. Drones are scurrying over towards that. Counterattack going off of all this happening with the Lings. Could just run through. There we go. Go for the mineral lines might be his best bet in this sort of scenario. As far as an actual base race goes, a base trade, I think Nanaki wins as far as damage, but we'll see if Hyun can cause enough damage to really screw him up. Zealot's warped into the middle line, and the main will actually hold quite nicely, but the natural has been absolutely gutted here, fully and entirely. Hyun's killed quite a few workers, if I do say so, but drones haven't been evacuated up over here towards the north. He actually doesn't quite have enough minerals to make a new hatchery, so I'm not sure what he's planning to do with the drones. But not a good situation to be in, that's for sure. We got Tunneling Claws finishing up in a second. I think Burrow... Oh, did Burrow get denied? No. Okay, he actually finished up Burrow, so that's good. Weapon upgrades will finish up here in a moment. He really... If these Immortals weren't here right now, he'd want to snipe off the Robo to make sure that he wouldn't have detection to deal with, but unfortunately, Hyun has lost just about everything at this point. Only one base mining. Overseer contaminates the Robo to try and buy him a little more time, but this is looking quite rough. I like the Burrow tactics. I really like the Burrow tactics, because actually Nanaki has been delayed a lot here with that. Immortal's going to be wasting even more time not building an observer. But Hyun's brought all of his drones back. He's got 63 workers, guys, but it's off of one base, so not exactly the most effective thing in the world. But those Tunneling Claws coming into full effect now. Going to snipe off some workers here in the main. Of course, Roaches can get that one volley down. It's kind of interesting, because Nanaki's in a position of power where I kind of think if he just moved across the map, he could win. But he doesn't know this. That's the problem. So right now he's thinking like, okay, if Hyun's just doing minor harass, maybe he's got some actual macro behind this. But of course we know that's really not the case. He's got no. He really needs to get another base down. There we go. National base being slapped on down. His income is not looking too great, but both players kind of stuck on one base economy, as weird as that is to consider. But more importantly, Nanaki with almost no workers is in a really rough spot. Hyun's still looking for special tactics. You see him spreading the roaches out like this, guys, because he's predicting the observer to come. Like, the observer's here looking for the roaches. He knows that they're around here somewhere. And, ooh, surprise! Doesn't quite get that worker. And roaches, of course, if you guys don't know, with Tunneling Claws, get a huge benefit to the regeneration while burrowed. So, as we see, they are taking quite a bit of time to kill. But, some more do on burrow here towards the natural. Again, Hyun keeping his opponent's probe count low is the key reason Nanaki is not moving across the map right now. And that's what's allowing Hyun to get his extra bases up. Like, he was on one base for God knows how long. Nanaki now scouting with the Phoenix might be thinking like, wow, I really wish I had just pushed a little bit sooner, a little bit earlier, because his army supply is 72 to 46. But Hyun still has some roaches on this half of the map sneaking around. Like, Hyun very literally cannot take a fight. There's no way, no engagement path, no sort of scenario where Hyun takes a fight and wins in a head-on engagement, especially even with Tunneling Claws. So he knows he's got to do these sort of, like, I guess, special tactics, if you will. But roaches need on burrow, and he really needs to draw the attention of Nanaki, because right now Hyun's got 1,200 resources, but unfortunately, I think even with this full evacuation, I don't know if he can stay in this game. This is going to be weird, that's for sure. Roaches pushing towards the top of the ramp are going to be unbothered by anything. And, oh gosh, if there was no observers on the map, like, I would almost say Hyun just straight up wins this game, but there are observers out, and there's no way for Hyun to snipe them off is the problem. But okay, all the workers are being stripped away. Nanaki's going to have very literally no income, so if Hyun can find a way to whittle away at his opponent, Nanaki will not be replacing anything anytime soon. But Hyun, man, build a hatchery here. Take Nanaki's third. Do it. Oh, God. Okay, he's going to build a hatchery. Getting a little bit worried about that for a moment. Still mining off of this base. Lings being sent out across the map. How many observers do they have in total? 2. So, 1 at home, 1 offensively. The 1 at home, of course, a little bit useless, but oh, God, guys. Oh, Nanaki is going to build a ninja base. No. Oh, he doesn't have the money for a Nexus. But what he can do is build a pylon over here. And Hyun won't be able to touch it for quite some time because he'll have to tear through the rocks. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So it's not going to quite be the end of the game. It's not going to be a full-on base trade or a base race, but this is certainly getting dire. That is for certain. We got a spawning pool coming down over here in the middle of God knows nowhere. And Hyun's got a couple hatcheries on the way, but I don't know. Again, like, with force fields, even with burrow tech, with those force fields are going to be so impossibly difficult to deal with. Hyun is spending what little money he has on these extra hatcheries to come down. And Nanaki, oh man, Nanaki. This is equally odd and very awkward for both players because no one has the power. Like, if they had map vision, if they had God mode vision like we do, yes, this game would decisively be over in a matter of moments. But unfortunately, because they're both playing a little bit blind, it's very awkward to try and figure out where and how to take fights. Again, the biggest problem here is there's an observer. If there is no observer, I guarantee you, Hyun wins this game just straight up. But he might not realize there's an observer above this army. So bleeding out a couple legs, Roach is moving around the map. There's no way Nanaki ever lets this go out of sight, but Hyun knows where that last building is. He knows where he has to go. So I kind of like, he just needs to sneak past Nanaki's army. Nanaki, of course, building something up here towards the top left by the looks of it, but Hyun has an overlord there, so he knows. Couple zealots working at the extractor. Rocks have been abandoned, and he knows this thanks to the creep tumors, so moving in to take out this one assimilator. Hyun is mining off of a new base, but I don't even this game. So Nanaki's warp prism shuttling around this probe is really like, he can build 3 or 4 more simulators. Like, it's gonna be very difficult to just straight up end this game. This is gonna be the most frustrating situation for Hyun too, because it is so desperately close. But Immortal's heading northward. We got a new hatchery coming down here towards the south. Roaches will pick up some zealots here for free. Again, chipping away at the army of his opponent little by little. What's necessary to get done. Drones are trying to be pulled to burrow and hide. The observer, I believe, sees most of this. Yeah, so Hyun's gonna lose a lot of his workers here, which super duper sucks. These rocks are gonna be torn down, hopefully before Nanaki's army. This is kind of a big race against the clock. Like, these drones are actually buying Hyun a ton of time, but the problem is Hyun might get stuck up here in the north. Nanaki, oh god, is this his last building? I don't see him building anything else. I'm looking around the map right now. I don't see a single other pylon or assimilator. This could be it. This assimilator may be the end of the game. Oh, that probe's unloaded. He's building a pylon. Oh, Nanaki slaps on a pylon towards the south. Yeah, see this thanks to map vision. When you don't have a nexus, guys, it reveals the map. What the fuck is going on? Pardon my swearing. Hyun has got to go for this last pylon. This is it. Nanaki very literally doesn't have the money to make any other buildings. This pylon will win him the game. And it's a race. It's very literally a race as the roaches run down there. Oh, I take it back. There's an assimilator back up here towards the top left. The top left is another assimilator, Hyun. Oh, no. He's got a base towards the south, though. I gotta say, this is looking better and better for Hyun, but there's no way for him to get up past this ramp. Where's the observer? Oh no, the observer's with the army. He could burrow through this. He's gonna burrow through this. Hyun is using tunneling claws very literally to win this game. This is gonna be it. Nanaki is gonna lose his assimilator, and Hyun will win. And what is the most exciting game I think we can cast early on. I'm gonna make dumb grin on my face. Wha-bam! Hyun. Congratulations to Hyun. That game, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can say. That game. That was amazing. Alright, what we're gonna try to do here is get we're gonna try and get, man, I'm so glad I woke up now. I was talking this earlier, I'm like, oh, I'm so grumpy, I don't want to cast today, blah, 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 but I'm so glad I woke up to cast.